All right, we are looking at surface area of a prism, and this is 12:4 from your textbook, and our learning target for today is I can find the surface area of a prism. All right, a vocab word for you is surface area. Okay, surface area is the space on the outside of a three-dimensional prism. So if you think about a Kleenex box, the surface area would be all of the cardboard part on the outside of the Kleenex box. And in order to find the surface area S of a rectangular prism with length, width, and height is the sum of all of the areas of its faces. So we use this equation here to find surface area. 2 times the length and the width plus 2 times the length times height plus 2 times the width times height. So we're taking each side of this rectangular prism and finding the area of each side and adding it all together. Okay, so this kind of shows a little bit more what we're doing to find the surface area of a rectangular prism. So we have this prism here that has a length of 5, a width of 4, and a height of 3. Okay, so there are 3 pairs of congruent faces. So when they unfolded this rectangular prism, notice this side, the front and the back are the same, the bottom and the top are the same, and then both of the sides are the same. So we find the area of these faces, and we multiply it by 2 because there's 2 of each side. So the top and the bottom, okay, these yellow boxes, they have a length of 5 and a width of 4, so we take 5 times 4, and then we multiply that by 2 because there's the top and the bottom, and that gives us 40. And then the front and the back, okay, so the front is 5 by 3, so we multiply those by each other, and then times 2 since there's 2, the front and back. And then each of the sides are 3 by 4, so 3 times 4 times 2 for each side, and then we add each of those areas up, and we get a total surface area of 94 square centimeters, okay, which is this little study tip here. Just to note that when you find the surface area, it's square units. Volume was cubic units, but since we're talking area, it's just squared. So let's take a look at what that would actually look like with this shape, and then we'll have some for you to try on your own. Okay? So we take the surface area, 2 times the length times width, plus 2 times the length times height, plus 2 times the width times the height. All right. So 2 times the length of 9 and the width of 7, plus 2 times the length of 9 times the height of 13, plus 2 times the width of 7 and the height of 13. So we could designate each of these height, width, length. All right, so now let's calculate. 2 times 9 times 7 is 126. 2 times 9 times 13 is 234. And 2 times 7 times 13 is 182. Now I add each of those up. And we want to make sure we're showing all of our work on here. We get a surface area of 542 inches. Again, it's squared since we're talking area. Okay, so on our diagram here, we found the area of this bottom and the top, the front and the back, and the two sides, and we added that all together. Okay, here's a couple more that we can try. I'm going to say that 10 is my length, 3 is my width, and 6 is my height. So we take 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay, let's multiply those together. 2 times 10 times 3 is 60. 2 times 10 times 6 is 120. Oops, I forgot to plug in 3 for my width here. 2 times 3 times 6 is 36. 60 plus 120. Add each of the areas up. And our surface area is 216 meters squared. All right, next one here. All right, so 11, this one is going to be my length, my width, and my height. You can really designate, since they're all multiplied together at some point, you can really designate the length, the width, and the height to be any of the measurements, but they just need to stay consistent throughout. So 2 times the length times the width, 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the width times the height. 2 times 11.2 times 3 is 67.2. 2 times 11.2 times 11.2 is 250.88. And 2 times 3 times 11.2 is 67.2. Add all of those together. And our surface area of this prism is 385.28 millimeters squared. All right, here's one to try. A word problem for you. Domingo built a toy box 60 inches long, 24 inches wide, and 36 inches high. He has 1 quart of paint that covers about 87 square feet of surface. Does he have enough to paint the toy box? Okay. All right. Notice here, since the surface area of the toy box is expressed in inches, convert the 87 feet to square inches so that all measurements are expressed using the same units. Because if you look in our problem, we have inches and feet, and we want them all to be the same. But let's start out with finding the surface area of the box first. So they already tell us the length, the width, and the height. So we take 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height. 2 times 60 times 24 is 2,880 plus 2 times 60 times 36, 4,320, and 2 times 24 times 36 is 1,728. Add all of those together. 0 plus 4,320 plus 1,728. And we get a surface area of 8,928 inches squared. All right, so now we have to convert our square feet into inches. And if you think about a square foot, okay, that means that we're taking 1 foot times 1 foot. That's how we get that feet squared. And if I replace each of the feet with inches, I know that there's 12 inches in a foot. Okay, so 12 times 12 is 144 inches squared, which is equal to 1 foot squared. Okay, so now since 1 square foot equals 144 square inches, I would take my 87 square feet and multiply it by 144, which equals 12,528 square inches. So, since he has a surface area of 8,928, and this is how much paint he can cover with his quart of paint, he will have enough. So yes, and when it says justify, this is your way of justifying. You are showing that he can cover enough. All right, couple more to try. The largest corrugated cardboard box ever constructed measures about 23 feet long, 9 feet high, and 8 feet wide. Would 950 square feet of paper be enough to cover the box? Justify your answer. So again, we're going to justify by showing our work. So the surface area, 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the length times height, plus 2 times the width times the height. Calculate all of this. 2 times 23, times 8. 368. 2 times 23 times 9, 414. And 2 times 8 times 9, 144. All right, add all of these up. And the surface area equals 926 square feet. So would 950 square feet be enough? Yes, it would. And we justified by showing how we found the surface area. All right, so now if 1 foot was added to each dimension of this box from above, would 950 square feet of paper still be enough to cover it? So now we would have a length, we add 1 foot to each dimension, so 23, add 1, so it would be 24. The height would be 10, and the width, 8 plus 1 would be 9. Now, let's calculate surface area and see if it would be enough. 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. All right, 2 times 24 times 9, 432. 2 times 24 times 10, 480. 2 times 9 times 10, 180. Add all of these up. 432 plus 480 plus 180, 1,092 square feet. So would that 950 be enough? No, it would not. And we justified by showing what the surface area would be. Alright, so that is how you find surface area of a rectangular prism. You can rewatch any part of this video you're still stuck on, look in your book at the examples or the personal tutor videos. Otherwise, go ahead, head on over to take your 12-4 NICU at this time.